Hello? Testing.
Hey, Bill, remember that one time when we had the problem and we did a two-headphone deal?
When we don't know when we're on. We can't do anything from the truck.
You're going to have to. Does he have his headphones working up there at all? Why don't you suggest to Dave that we do that two-headphone deal where we use this one as the mic and then we put that other set over? Do you want us to start announcing right now?
We're just going to have to be cued.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Go ahead and go. Announcers, go ahead and go. Tape's rolling.
Too bad we're not on. I don't know, are we on?
Hello?
You want to just call the game?
Go ahead.
Number 21, Russell Harris, takes the ball out to the Herndon 38-yard line. Be first down and 10 to go for the Hornets. Check that. Let's make it the 40-yard line.
Gary Robinson's going to run a 4-3 defense tonight with Pat Schlimgen on the inside as inside backer. He's their best athlete on defense. We should watch for him tonight.
Otto Joffrey's the lone back. That ball was intended for number 88, Ahmad Spriggs. And Chris Young just overthrew the ball on that play.
It also looked, too, that Brent Mueller was in there. May have tipped the ball right when Young released it. This is one thing that Herndon's tried to do better this year is to pass the ball.
Bring up second down and 10 to go at the 40. Otto Jaffe, the lone back. Ahmad Spriggs split left. Ball's given up the middle to Otto Jaffe for a loss of 1 on the play.
You know, and Jaffe had a great game against T.P. Williams a couple of weeks ago. And last week versus McLean, he rushed for 125 yards with 15 carries. So he's really been the ground game for the Hornets so far this year.
Yeah! The Hornets will have third down and a long 10 to go. Not a situation they want to be in, but they are a lot better passing team this year than they have been in years past. And they play it safe that time and just keep the ball on the ground. Pick up about 3 yards. That'll bring up fourth down and 7, and the Hornets will punt.
I think it's a strange call right there. Chris Young's been throwing the ball fairly well in the last couple of games, and they decided to run one out of Jaffe right up the middle for a gain of 3 yards, and it's fourth down, time to punt.
Well, you know, with this Robinson team, as good as they are this year, and there we see a good job of blocking on the play by number 31 for the Hornets, Phil Jaramito. Ray Sanders returns the ball. That'll bring up first down and 10 to go at the 42-yard line for Robinson. Jamie, like I was saying, I thought it was a conservative call, and maybe because of the quality of this Robinson team that Coach Tommy Myers is going to try to keep it a little bit safer and maybe hope that the Rams will beat themselves. And there's the option play. It's a quarterback keeper. He picks up maybe 2 yards on the play, bring up second down and 8.
This is one thing that Coach Nick Hilbert from the Robinson Rams, 19th year as head coach for Robinson, told us earlier in the game that they were going to try to run the option a lot and work off the option. And that's one thing they're going to try to do here, open the game against Herndon.
They like to do a lot of trapping, too.
Well, oftentimes, like you said, the trap sets up that option play.
Nesson under center. Hands off to the second man in the I formation, number 24, Ray Sanders. He picks up about 4 yards on the gain. Bring up third down and about 4 yards.
Ray Sanders is one of those young men that goes both ways for the Rams. He plays running back and he will play the defensive backfield as well. This Robinson team is loaded with talent. They're ranked number 20 right now by the Washington Post, and really has one of the top 4 elite teams in Northern Virginia right now.
Sanders, the deep man in the I formation. Nesson passes. He's got a man open for the first down. Reception on the play by number 8, Eric Hamilton. That'll be first down and 10 to go for the Rams.
The interesting thing on that play, Gary, was that a couple of the Herndon coaches, including head coach Tommy Meyer, was telling the defense to shift over to that right side of Robinson's offense. They knew where the play was going. Jeremy Delk had a chance for the sack, and Messon eluded him and made the completion.
Got 8 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the first quarter. The score is 0-0. Messon keeps the ball on the keeper, and then option play to Sanders. Sanders breaks around the left end. The ball will be spotted on about the 40. Looks like they're going to mark it on about the 46-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that time, Gary, Herndon really had that play defense well. Joe Spence just missed a tackle deep in the backfield. If he would have made that, he would have dropped the Rams for a good 5 or 6 yard loss. So Herndon is playing tough defense early so far in the first quarter.
Ball's at the 42-yard line. That'll bring up second down and 6 to go. The Rams on the move with 7 minutes and 56 seconds to go in this first quarter. Messon has a man open. Oh! Pass was a little high. It's intended for number 89 on the play, Jonathan Doda. That was a catchable ball.
You know, one thing that we're looking for here, too, from Robinson is that their offensive line is not physically that big, but they are very quick, and that's what Coach Hilbert likes to see. But right now, the Herndon defense is getting a good push up the field on the line.
Third down and looks like they moved the ball up a yard on that play, but in any case, it'll be third down and 7 yards to go. That's it again to Sanders. Oh, he's stuck hard on the play. There is a flag down, but he was stuck very hard. It looked like number 22 on the play, Alex Kumar.
You know, Gary, and something that Tommy Meyer told us before the game started was that he will be using some new personnel tonight. Alex Kumar had a great tackle that time, and it looks like we have a penalty on Robinson.
That'll be a clip on Robinson, and it'll be interesting. Well, they decide to take it. That would have brought fourth down and 7. That's a 15-yard penalty, so that's going to push the Rams all the way back to the 40, and it looks like Tommy Myers is going for field position early in the game.
That's a good point, Gary. I think you're absolutely right, especially with a team like Robinson. He thinks he might be able to stop them here with third and a mile to go and really set up for a field position here after the punt.
Robinson in a 4 wide receiver set, something we don't see in high school ball too often. He goes back to pass. Messon goes off to his running back on the play. And he gets back about to the original line of scrimmage on the play. That'll bring up fourth down and about 8 to go.
What was interesting that time is they had 3 wideouts to the left side of the formation and ran the screen back to the right. They let Delk again be very aggressive and come up the line and almost sack the quarterback. They worked the screen well, picked up the 15 yards, but it will be fourth down for Robinson.
Adu Jumpy and Ahmad Spriggs back. John Doda will be punting.
And Robinson was short of personnel that time.
Oh! Oh, snap is way over their head. This is going to be a great break for the Hornets. It doesn't really matter who gets the ball in this play. It's in either case, it's going to be the Herndon Hornets ball on the Rams 26-yard line. A great break early in the game, and this has paid off for Tommy Myers and the Hornets.
Yeah, that's one thing that we talked about again with Tommy Myers before, and that was turnovers. Herndon has turned the ball over 9 times in the first 3 games, only recovered 2 turnovers. Right now, they're 1 up so far in this game, and that will be a big deal for tonight's ball game, don't you think, Gary?
Or maybe you don't. That'll bring up first down and 10 to go at the 24-yard line. And immediately the Hornets go for the big score. And there's a lot of contact down there. It was intended for Spriggs. There are no flags down. That'll bring up second down and 10 to go with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left in this first quarter.
One thing they're trying to work on with quarterback Chris Young is the 3-step drop. 3 quick steps and throw the ball. He did it that time. Tried to air it out to Spriggs, but he was well covered by Robinson.
Second down and 10. Spriggs split wide left. Adu jump, he's going back. There is no play. Flags are down.
Well, it's too bad because he had a nice hold and went up through the middle there.
Offside's call on Robinson. That'll be an automatic 5-yard advancement. The second down and 5 to go.
I'll tell you what, Coach Myers really going to like where his Herndon team is right now. About 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. They are on the Robinson 20-yard line.
It's a great opportunity for the Hornets. It'd be nice to see them get a touchdown. Spriggs split wide left, Russell Harris wide right. Jaffe keeps the ball, breaks left. Maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage, possibly a small loss on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10 to go.
Boy, that time Perry Melvin and a host of other Rams came in for the tackle, and there was really little, if any, blocking that time by the Herndon offensive line. Now we've got about 3rd and 8 to go here, and let's see what Coach Myers decides to call.
Jamie, I think this is 2-down territory. At this range, this is almost a 40-yard kick, and I don't think they'd attempt this. So I think you really got 2 downs to pick up. Now look where they've moved that 3rd down marker. They moved it back about 2 yards. I didn't think he lost quite that much. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 to go. Oh! Ahmad Spriggs right in the gut. And I'm not sure what happened, but he just must have lost sight of it.
I'll tell you what, that shows the strength of Chris Young's arm, too. He zipped that ball in there. He was under intense pressure, stayed in the pocket, threw it right where he had to, but Spriggs just could not come up with it. And Gary, like you said here earlier, they are going for it here on 4th down.
4th down and 8 to go. We've got 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in the scoreless first quarter.
It's potentially a big play here for the Hornets early on in the ball game.
Russell Harris in motion to the right. Chris Young trying to draw the defense off sides. He doesn't like what he sees, and he calls timeout.
You know, I wonder, Gary, if they were just trying to draw them off sides. We saw where the Rams jumped earlier, and Chris Young really made no attempt to get the ball snapped. And let's see what they decide to do here.
I'm not sure if he just didn't like the defense that he saw or what. It's a great opportunity for the Hornets to go up early, and now they're making wholesale substitutions, and I'm not sure what. I don't know if they're going to try to kick a field goal here.
That's Brad Lowett's number 20 right now, who's going to attempt this kick. And it's something that the Hornets have been working on.
I've got number 20 listed in my program, Jamie, as Reggie Salon, and that's incorrect.
It's Brad Lowett.
It is Brad Lowett. So his program is wrong then. Is Brad listed in the program at all?
No. He's a write-in tonight.
I'm sure his parents will be happy to hear about that. And by my calculations, 32. This is darn near close to 40. This is exactly a 40-yard field goal. This is an extremely long field goal at the high school level. The kick is up, and it's going to be way, way short. And in high school football, you can't advance the ball after a missed kick. And that'll bring up 1st down and 10 to go for the Rams.
Gary, let me ask you a question. What do you think this does to the Herndon psyche right now? They had the ball deep in Robinson territory, and they come up with nothing.
I don't think it. You know, obviously they had some big momentum going there, but I don't really think it was a case of the Rams stopping any of the things that they were trying to do. It was really the Hornets just not executing correctly.
That's one thing that we talked earlier too, as well, about some people make good plays on the line, and maybe one person lets off with a block. But let's get back to the action here.
Kingsford Agamo in the game. That'll bring up 2nd down and let's say 1.5 yards to go.
That was number 32, Pat Schlimgen too. But Gary, he's playing both sides as well as fullback and middle linebacker. These were the quickest people out there on the field tonight.
Sanders getting a break. Schlimgen and number 21, Agnew on the play, and it looks like Schmegel will. No, that's going to be a quarterback keeper by Messon, and he picks up the first down. That'll bring up first down, and 10 to go for the Rams.
I'll tell you what, we have an injury down there on the field right now. Number 66, Mark Woods for Robinson, is down and hurt. But that last play is very interesting. The quarterback, Curran Menson, had fumbled the ball and picked it back up and ran for the first down. So I guess that's one time when a broken play really works out for the ball club, and they come up with the first down here.
The Rams will have the ball at their own 25-yard line with 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go in this first quarter. We have a scoreless tie at the Hornets' Nest in beautiful downtown Herndon, Virginia.
And as they attend to Mark Woods on the field right now, Gary, I need to ask you a question, too. In talking with Coach Hilgert before the game from Robinson, I think he was trying to sort of downplay their top 20 ranking. And what do you think that does to a ball club and to the opposing team that comes in and gets psyched up to play a top 20 ball club?
Well, first of all, Robinson's coach, he's been around for 19 years, so he's not exactly what you call a new kid on the block.
He's no chicken, is he?
And I don't think that anything, any kind of rankings, 20th rank or anything means that much to him. He's been around a long time and probably does a little bit more for the kids than it does for him. I don't think he takes it real seriously, especially this early in the year. And one of the things I'd like to touch on, Jamie, is that most of the teams that we've seen in the district and in most of the high school teams around the area, they have the successful teams have the big offensive lines, the big defensive lines, just very similar in the professional leagues and also in the college ranks. But the Robinson philosophy is a little bit different.
That's right, they like to go with speed, with the total athlete. And I think that you do see that in some of the clubs. Reese Daniels, definitely from Annandale, is big and fast, very strong. But he does like to go with lots of team speed. He said that he didn't want to have anybody on his club that runs a 40 and slower than 5'2".
That's exactly right. And that's a stark contrast to what we saw last year from his Herndon team, where they averaged close to 300 pounds per man across that offensive line. This Robinson team has some guards and tackles that go as small as 185.
And again, it goes back to Coach Hilgert's philosophy of team speed. And we've seen it so far. They've done a fairly good job.
You know, I think that actually bodes well. Although Robinson's an extremely talented squad, I think that particular part of their philosophy plays well for Herndon this year because they're a little weak up the middle on the defensive line and at linebacker. I think they're susceptible to the run.
Well, like we've seen so far tonight, they've really done a good job of stopping the run of Robinson. And we'll see if that continues for the Hornets tonight. Right now, it looks like Mark Woods, the young man that's been hurt, is up on his feet. And hopefully he's okay. But Gary, what does that do to the club that's facing the top 20 team like we talked about earlier? Do you think that gets them more psyched up to play someone that's ranked highly?
You know, I think it always does. And one thing you have to try to caution against is whether or not they're going to be psyched up, or maybe on the other hand, are they going to be intimidated by a ranking like that?
I tell you, I don't think this Herndon club would be intimidated, especially with Tommy Myers at the helm. He really gets his club mentally prepared for each and every ball game, and I think he's done a great job so far this year.
With 4:09 left in the first quarter, we have a scoreless tie at Herndon, in Herndon, Virginia. The Herndon Hornets 0, the Robinson Rams 0. Got first down and 10 to go at the Rams' own 25-yard line.
Last week, Robinson came off of a huge victory against South Lakes. I believe it was 35-10.
That's right.
And Herndon also was victorious in a 20-18 thriller at Marshall.
Thriller.
Agamembo gets the ball, and he breaks right. He's got some running room. He picks up about 7 yards on the play. Looks like there was possibly a fumble, but I think the referees are ruling that it was down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you what, number 21, Kingsford, again, Bentley, I guess is how you'd say it. We're not doing too well with names tonight. Really had a nice hole, but Herndon really pursued him well to only bring him to a 7-yard gain that time.
Messon brings his team up to the line of scrimmage. Agamembo is the deep back. Megan is the up man, and he does get the ball. He's got some sailing. He breaks a tackle from one man. He's at the 50. He's at the 40, and he's brought out at the 36-yard line by number 4 on the play, Josh Robertson. Jamie, a big pickup and a tough break for the Hornets this time.
Well, I don't know if it was a tough break, but it was a good block that time by Robinson, who sprung Schlimgen that time in for a big, big gainer. Robinson really now on the move. And one thing that we talked again with Coach Hilgert was they really want to run this ball tonight. They said they'd pass 15 times during the ball game, but would like to try to keep the ball on the ground.
Agumengo. Yeah. I'm having a real tough time with these names. And number 32, Schlimgen in the backfield. And Agamembo gets the ball, and he does a good job of picking up about 6 yards on the play, bringing up 2nd down and 4 to go for the Rams.
I think one thing.
Excuse me, Jamie. The ball will be spotted at the 34-yard line. With 2 minutes and 56 seconds to go. Again, we still have a scoreless tie in this first quarter.
And this is very characteristic of the Hornets. I don't think they've scored a point yet so far in the first half of any one of their 3 ball games. So if they can hang tough here with Robinson, they're going to be in good shape in the second half, I think.
Well, according to the way they've spotted it, it's going to be 2nd down and 7. Schlimgen gets the ball, goes up the middle and off right guard. Picks up, looks like about 3 yards on the play. Should be about 3rd down and 3 to go.
One thing I've noticed here in this drive by Robinson is that Herndon has really started to try to tackle their men up high, and you just can't do that in any level of football. You have to tackle them down a little bit lower to stop the progress.
Agamemgo, the deep back. Schlimgen, the up man. Messin hands the ball up to the right side to Agamembo, and he's got some running room. He's all the way down to the Herndon 10-yard line.
Huge hole that time. Number 21, Kingsford Agbembly was the runner, and he came up with a big gainer. And right now it looks like the Herndon offense is really not pushing up the field a whole lot. They're not moving laterally real well either. They're just chasing right now.
It's 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. The ball just inside the 10-yard line. So they can't, it's about as far as they can go to the goal line without getting a 1st down. Agamembo, the deep man, Schlimgen, the up back. They give the ball to the left side to Agamembo. He picks up about 2 yards on the play, bringing up 2nd down and 8 yards to go.
Well, that time Bill Hildbold, number 54, had a nice block to open up the hole. And Robinson is on the move, really knocking on the doorstep here of the Herndon Hornets.
A minute 13 to go in the first quarter. Robinson's got the opportunity to put the first points on the board. And now we see Robinson, quarterback Messin, calling timeout.
Well, this will give Herndon a good chance to take a rest and really discuss what they want to do here on this goal line defense, basically. They've got about 7 yards here, Robinson does, to try to score and punch this ball in. And the powerful running that we've seen from them so far, I think that they have a good shot at doing this.
Well, if they continue to run the ball like they have this first quarter, there's not going to be much this Herndon team can do. They're going to have to make a big stand right here. Of course, the field gets a lot shorter and a lot easier to defend when you get down low.
I'd like to see what the condition of the field is, too. Remember the last couple of games, the field tends to get slippier as the ball game goes on here at the Hornets Nest, and that may play into a team's hands here as the ball game goes on.
And you know, when we go down there, the field seems to be fine, but it was last year it was a little slippery as the game went on, and maybe that's just partly due to the fog and the night air coming in, and maybe the dew settling in on the grass.
Well, we saw that during the TC game earlier this year as well. You saw a lot of guys slipping in the second half.
Well, maybe we can get an indication at halftime from the cheerleaders after they're doing their halftime show to see if they're having problems with it, grasping the grass.
Grasping the grass?
The grass, grasping the grass. 2nd down and 8 to go. 2nd down and goal to go at the 8. Sanders looks like he's... They're going to keep the ball to Mengo, and he's down all the way down to the 1-yard line. Number 22 on the play, Alex Kuma, saving the touchdown. It'll be 3rd down and 1. 3rd down and goal to go at the 1.
I don't think there was much mystery about where Robinson was going to run the ball that time. They had 2 backs offset to the left side, and they just pitched it back and let Agbembly run right behind his 2 backs. 3rd down and goal here for the Rams.
They're going to stay in this wishbone formation. Number 45 in the game for Robinson, Perry Melvin. look for Agamemnon to carry the ball, but no, they do a quarterback sneak up the middle, and that will be a touchdown for the Robinson Rams. The score, Robinson 6, Herndon 0.
Boy, in that time, the offensive line of Robinson really did the job. They just buried the defensive line of Herndon, and it was easy over the top for Messon to score as he puts his club ahead 6-0.
John Lifford in the game to attempt at the point after. Ball spotted at the 2-yard line. Just got word that that's number 6, Zach Brown. The ball is down, the kick is up. Referee signal is good. The score with 24 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Robinson Rams 7, the Herndon Hornets 0.
Well, Gary, I think that you've seen the difference between both ball clubs so far and what could be their scoring drives. Robinson executed well. They opened up the holes on the line and really played good ball. On the other hand, Herndon, when it came down to be deep in Robinson territory, sort of sputtered on offense, tried to go 4 downs, tried to draw them off sides on that 4th down and wound up trying to kick a field goal, and to no avail.
Well, this is a young Herndon team, and really the thing that we've seen so far is, at least on the first drive, is they just weren't able to execute. I don't think it was anything that Robinson did to stop them. It was just their lack of execution. Number 43, Adu Jaffe, is back to receive the kick. Kicking off for Robinson is number 10, John Lifford.
And we've seen Adu Jaffe have some nice runs this year, so if this young man gets the ball in his hands, he can really do some fun things. So keep your eyes out on number 43, Adu Jaffe.
And the ball, we've got a flag on the play. It must be offsides on the Rams on the kickoff. Still waiting for the signal from the referees on the play. And apparently they're not going to give us the signal. They're just going to assume that we know it's a 5-yard offsides penalty. And there we go. Now we get the offsides penalty. The ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line. And again, we're getting confirmation from the referee up in the booth. It is offsides on Robinson. Ball will be spotted at the 35. Adu Jaffe is at his own 11-yard line.
And that looks like the 3rd penalty for the Robinson Rams tonight. Herndon has yet to be penalized.
And apparently the Robinson coach was not happy with that last kick, so he's put in number 54 for the Rams, Bill Hillbold. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen before. And it's a low-line driver to Adu Jaffe. He takes it at his own 15. Breaks one tackle, moves outside to his left. He's finally dragged down after a lot of east-west running to about the 30-yard line. And I'm now getting word that that was not Adu Jaffe, that was actually Abram Denton.
Let's see what Herndon decides to do on offense this time if they try to stay with that 3-step drop. I think they could use some quick hitters here, maybe run a few slant patterns. We've seen them be successful with that so far this year.
Dennis Washington in the game, and the handoff to Adu Jaffe up the middle. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10.
Gary, it looks like they're really trying to establish that run up the middle. What's your feeling on that?
Well, it's early to tell. They really have only had one series, so and at the end of this first quarter, the score: Herndon 0, the Robinson Rams 7. Jamie, again, the score: Robinson 7, Herndon 0.
Thank you, Gary. And let me tell you, this Robinson club again comes in as one of the top 4 in Northern Virginia. I would say behind Chantilly and Lake Braddock and, of course, Annandale. And these things don't get much easier as Herndon, at least, plays Chantilly next week at Chantilly. So this is a good tune-up for Herndon so far, playing this number 20 Robinson Rams ball club.
be second down and 10 to go at the Hornets' own 30-yard line as we switch ends of the field. And the, I guess, water and towel girls come off. Coach Tom Meyer comes off after giving his team a little pep talk, and we're ready for the beginning of the second quarter.
Coach Meyer would have been the one in the white, Gary.
For those of you keeping
That's
score,
right.
That would be Coach Meyer. Let there not be any mistaking that. Dennis Washington is in the game for the second time tonight as the fullback on the I formation. Otto Jaffe, the deep man. Ahmad Spriggs split wide left. And they keep the ball on the ground to, they faked me out on that play. They faked it to Otto Jaffe. The pass was intended on the play to B.J. Lanier, and it hit him in a bad spot in the hands. As this Herndon team has some problems early on holding on to the ball, and Chris Young looks good. He's hitting his men, but they just can't hold on, Jamie.
And I'll tell you what, not only Chris Young faked you out up here in the booth, he faked out the Robinson defense that time. Lanier was wide open. He should have caught the ball.
Russell Harris split wide right. Ahmad Spriggs wide left. Again, Otto Jaffe, the deep man. Young goes back to pass, and he's sacked on the play. That'll be a loss of about 6 yards. It's like number 73, and I don't have him listed in my program.
And you know, the funny thing is number 76 slowed him down. I don't have him listed in my program either, so Mr. X and Mr. Y that time for Robinson really teamed up for the sack that time on Chris Young.
Be 4th down and 14 for the Hornets as they'll punt away. Number 89, Jonathan Doda, is back at his own 45 to receive the punt. Oh, and the Hornets get a break that time as the Rams almost blocked the punt. They did run into the kicker. And now it's just a question of whether they're going to call that roughing the kicker or running into the kicker.
Let's ask our official in the booth, Ralph Newell.
It's going to be, and apparently in high school there is no differentiation between roughing or running into the kicker. It is going to be roughing the kicker. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for the Hornets. A good break.
That time, number 51, John Marco Giannakis, that time for Robinson, came in to run into the kicker, and they had good pressure coming up that time.
This should be a good opportunity to thank our in-the-booth official, Ralph Newell, a star standout football player at William & Mary.
And Gary, it's a much better thing to work with Ralph than with Happy Johnson, who we had 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Ralph seems to be a lot more friendly and a lot more helpful than our last official we worked with. That's going to bring up first down and 10 to go for the Hornets at their own 40-yard line. 11 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the second quarter. The score, Robinson 7, the Hornets 0.
And so far, that bodes to be Herndon's biggest offensive play of this first half, that 15-yard penalty.
Chris Young back to pass. He's got a man open, number 14 on the play. Big pickup. He's all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Jeremy Delk that time, Gary. And let me tell you what, the Robinson defense is biting on the play action. They've bitten on it the last 3 times, and this is the first time that Young has had a receiver hold on to the ball. Good play that time by Herndon.
Tommy Meyer setting up the pass with the run. The run wasn't successful, but it did keep the safeties in.
And I'll tell you what, let's see what he comes up with here. First down in Robinson territory.
Craig Robinson set out left, and his ball's handed off up the middle on the play. Looked like Otto Jaffe, and that would be Dennis Washington. Picks up about 6 yards in the play. That'll bring up second down. Well, now they mark it an 8-yard pickup. That'll be second down and 2.
Right now it looks like Herndon's offense is starting to kick on a few of its cylinders and really starting to get in the ball game. Looks like Chris Young's got a little more composure, a little more confidence. Second down.
Ahmad Spriggs and Robinson both split wide left. Chris Young hands the ball off to Otto Jaffe, and he should have enough for the. Looks like he should have enough for the first down. See where they mark the ball.
They might
and it is close enough for a measurement, Jamie.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I thought I was right too, but now they've called it first down. And now we get a timeout on the play by Robinson. Was that a timeout, you think, just to maybe slow down the momentum?
Boy, I don't know what that was. I'm not sure. It looks like the defensive coach for Robinson is going out and talking to his boys out there on the field. That very well could be why they called that timeout, because for the first time in the ballgame, Herndon has really moved the ball offensively.
Well, this is their third possession of I guess you could really call this the second possession. In any case, it'll be first down and 10 to go at Robinson's 20-yard line. Herndon knocking on the door, their second opportunity of this game to score.
What they have to do is they have to stop knocking on the door and get through the door. They knocked on the door earlier and came up with nothing, and now with about 10 minutes to go here in the first half, they are driving. Let's see if they can capitalize.
10:14 left in the first half. Herndon ball, first and 10 at the Robinson 20-yard line. Russell Harris split wide left. Otto Jaffe, the deep man, and Otto Jaffe is faked up. Chris Young has a man over the middle for a first down. Number 1 in the play, B.J. Lanier. And I'll tell you what, Chris Young is doing an excellent job with that play-action fake.
He really is. That time, Robinson did not bite on as much. They had some good pressure on Young, but he found B.J. Lanier, who atoned for his last drop, and caught that ball to take it deep, deep within Robinson territory, Gary.
Jamie, just to stress again, Chris Young doing an excellent job of keeping the ball on his hip and hiding it from this Robinson defense, maybe buying himself just an extra second.
I think you're exactly right. It sure has paid off on this drive.
First down and goal to go at the Robinson 7. And they hand the ball up to Jaffe. Touchdown! Herndon Hornets! And Herndon is right back in this ball game, Jamie.
I tell you what, he was not touched going through the line, and that time, like Robinson did earlier, they plowed over the Herndon defense. This time, the Herndon offense plowed into the Robinson
and
defense.
You hear this Herndon crowd going berserk, Jamie. All of a sudden, they've come back to life. With 9:45 to go in the game, the Hornets have a chance to tie it up.
Let me tell you what, that was about a 2-minute, 15-second drive. They got the ball right when the quarter ended, and did a great job on that drive.
The kick is up. Referee signal, no good, and that looked good to me. The crowd is cheering that it's good. I thought it was good, and then the referee signal, it's no good.
Well, I tell you, that
and of course, we don't have the angle here, Jamie, but it looked good to me. Maybe we can get an instant replay on that.
I think that's technology we don't have yet. So,
with 9 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the second quarter, the score: Robinson Rams 7, your Herndon Hornets 6.
Your Herndon Hornets?
You heard me correctly. The Herndon Hornets. Are you not paying attention?
I could have sworn you said the Herndon Hornets. It's been a long day. Well, that could really be a big play for the Hornets right now. They're down by 1.
Jamie, again, our program shows number 20 as being Reggie Salon, and you've got a correction on that.
That's right. It's Brad Lowitz.
Brad
Lowitz.
Brad Lewis.
Well, that has brought the Herndon crowd to life here as they are back in this ballgame. Like you said, they're down by 1 now.
Brad Lowitz tees the ball up at his own 40-yard line.
That was a good thing to see, though, that Herndon club with a nice long drive. And again, that drive was really started by the penalty, the running into the kicker penalty that Robinson had.
Mike Bowler back to receive the punt for the Rams. And that's going to go out of bounds, and that'll be a flag on the play.
Let me ask you a question about missing a kick like that. When you have a big drive like that against a club like Robinson and you got the momentum going and then you miss the kick, what do you think that does to your ball club?
Well, normally you would say it definitely takes some steam out of them, and it certainly does, but I think with a young club like this Hornets, I think the biggest thing that they're looking for is confidence in themselves to be able to stay in the game with a physical team like this Robinson Ram team.
There you see some of the Herndon faithful here at the Hornets Nest. We're about SRO right now, standing room only, as you see some of the people standing up there in the stands. Good crowd again here at the Hornets Nest for Herndon football.
The Hornets penalized 5 yards on the play. They'll be teeing the ball up at their own 35-yard line.
And that is Herndon's first penalty of the ball game.
Lowitz will attempt to kick off one more time. Agomembo hits the ball and it goes out of bounds. They caught a flag on that play, but I thought Agomembo hit the ball with his hand, and that shouldn't. In that case, it shouldn't be a penalty. It should be a muffed kick.
Well, if that was the case, the ball would be spotted where the ball went out of bounds after touching the Robinson player.
There was a flag down. Maybe one of the referees, maybe the referee that threw the flag didn't see a Robinson player hit it, but no, they're gonna say illegal procedure against this Herndon team, and we're going to try for the third time to see if we can get this kickoff right as they tee it up at their own 30-yard line now.
Well, I tell you what, the refs have a much better vantage point than we do up here, but it did look like he had touched the ball.
And you can see Coach Tom Meyer having a talk with Brad Lowitz about how to kick the ball, and I think he probably just simply said to him, kick the darn ball in the middle of the field, don't kick it out of bounds.
We also see,
go ahead, Jamie.
I was going to say, we see one of the refs coming over to explain to Coach Tommy Meyer that the man did not touch the ball.
Well, that's how you saw it, but my interpretation of that is Coach Meyer explaining to the refs exactly what was going on out there. And I don't think he was happy with that last call. If that's for me, tell him I'm busy.
Okay.
Back to receive the kick is number 35 for the Rams, Mike Bowler.
There he goes.
And here's a good kick to number 21, Ago Jembo. He breaks the ball out to the left, and he's got some running room, and he's taken out at the last second at the Herndon 45-yard line by number 8, Chris Young, quarterback Chris Young, as a matter of fact.
We have another flag that time too, Gary. This is what happens when you get these penalties, and you know, Agomembo picked up the ball at his own 25-yard line with a head of steam and goes well over midfield. Let's see what happens here with this penalty.
Usually on a kickoff, that kind of penalty will indicate a clip.
Let's see what the refs are doing.
We have no signal from the referees yet.
Let's ask our ref in the booth, Ralph Newell. Ralph, what's the call?
Ralph says it's holding against the Hornets.
It's Herndon.
Which seems to be an unusual call on a run back of the kicking team. Oh, now we're getting word that it's a personal foul, maybe a late hit out of bounds, and that'll be a 15-yard penalty. And this Hornets team is really doing nothing to help themselves. Again, it's not Robinson doing anything positive, Jamie. It's the Hornets hurting themselves.
I'll tell you, that puts Robinson again knocking on the door now with Herndon, down a 35-yard line.
Designated quarterback, number 21, Agomembo, the deep back. And Agomembo keeps the ball off the left side. Pick up about 4 on the play. That'll bring up second down and a long 6.
I'll tell you, Agomembo hits the line very well, but Herndon was there that time. Agomembo should have picked up some more yards, but Herndon's defense ultimately stacked him up. And the defense now is really going to have to answer the call to try to stop this Rams offense.
They marked the ball at the 34-yard line, and that'll be second down and 7 to go. Agomembo still the deep back. Schmigan, the up man in the I formation. Essen keeps the ball. He's back to pass. He goes over the middle on the play to Schmigan. A nice pickup and a first down to the 19-yard line of the Hornets. Jamie? With 8 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the half, the score, Robinson 7, the Hornets 6.
What Herndon's doing on defense is they've really got about 7, 8, 9 guys in the box. And what Robinson is doing is saying, okay, you're going to stack it up on the inside, we're going to throw it to the outside, challenge you. That's what they did last time to pick up the first down.
Robinson in the I formation with Agomembo, the deep back. Essen looks over the line, barks out the signals. He's back to pass again, roll out right. And I think he just kind of threw that one away.
Yeah, I think you're right. He really had some pressure on him by one of the Herndon offensive linemen. Looks like number 68 that time. And that is Dan Glass, defense tackle from Herndon.
Jamie, did you notice he rolled out to his left when he's a right throwing quarterback that time?
Yeah, I did.
Quarterback.
I did. We also see that the play didn't work real well either. Let's find out and see what they do here.
Second down and 10 to go at the Hornets 20-yard line. And I tell you what, I don't know if it's my imagination or not, but it seems like they're not spotting the ball at the same place where it's originally spotted. But I guess the referees are out there paying attention to that. It must just be out from the angle we're at. It's hard to tell when you spot it. Agamemnon now in motion to the left. And he is messing sacked on the play by number 14, Jeremy Delk.
Let me tell you what, Jeremy Delk is a quick young man. He's got to be the sacks leader so far on this Herndon club. He had 3 against T.C. Williams 2 weeks ago, and he has one again here tonight. So a good play by Jeremy Delk. And that'll bring 3rd and long this time for Robinson.
3rd down and 15 to go at the 25-yard line.
And that time it was a strange formation. They had everybody up on the line except for the running back and the wide receiver, and Agamemnon went out motion to the left.
Herndon now with only 3 down defensive linemen. Look like a little confused. Delk is blitzing. He sacks him and he causes a fumble. It's anybody's ball. The Hornets pick the ball up. He could go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, and he's dragged down at the 10-yard line. A big break for this Hornets team. And the crowd goes berserk, Jamie.
That's right, it was B.J. Lanier, number 1 that time, that picked up the ball and went for the scamper. He was caught from behind, but a huge play for Herndon right now with 7.5 to go here in the first half.
Holy cow, Jamie, what a break for the Hornets. That's about an 80-yard turnaround right now.
Gary, did you see the man that caused the play? Who was it?
That was number 14, Jeremy Delk, his
right.
2nd sack of the game. After he sacked the man, he didn't even realize that he had fumbled.
He was up and celebrating, it looked like, when B.J. Lanier ran by him and scooped up the ball. So now Herndon really needs to capitalize on this turnover.
Jamie, have you noticed this year, Coach Tom Meyer's done something a little different than he used to. He's always been a very conservative coach, in my opinion. This year, it seems like anytime they've had a big play and a turnover, they go right for the kill. Last time they went for a long touch or a 20-yard touchdown pass. Let's see what he does here. And this time he plays it a little bit more conservative. He keeps the ball on the ground and really no pickup.
Well, here I think what we could look for here is the play action pass.
I think that'd be a great call.
I'll tell you, that run by B.J. Lanier has ignited this Herndon Hornets crowd.
The ball's at the 13-yard line. That'll be 1st down and 10, or excuse me, that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 to go for these Hornets.
Again, I think we should look for some play action here.
Greg Robinson, the only receiver, split wide right. Adu Jaffe, the deep back. And there it is, over the middle. Number 14, Jeremy Delk, playing both sides of the field. That'll be a 1st down for the Hornets at the 2-yard line of this Robinson team.
Well, I tell you, that time it was a quick hitter by Young, 1 step and hum it, and that's what he did. And we talked about the strong arm of Chris Young in the 1st quarter, and again, he showed it there, zinged the ball in there for a completion.
And actually, the ball is spotted just short of the 1st down, and that'll bring up. So these chains just look, it's really confusing me. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2 to go at the 3 now.
Pitch wide.
Pitch wide out of Jaffe. Touchdown, Herndon Hornets!
At that time, Adu Jaffe put a move on Mike Bowler. Mike Bowler was up. Adu Jaffe shoot to the inside. Bowler went for it. He went right outside for the score. So Herndon here has taken the lead on the mighty Robinson Rams.
Look for the muddle huddle, Jamie. This is where maybe with Robinson a little bit down, a little bit confused, look for the Hornets to go for 2 if it's available. And if you notice, Dennis Washington kind of casually going out to the right there. Let's see if anybody notices. Well, now let's see what they do.
We also have a Robinson coach on the field, and maybe they took a timeout. Let's see if, Ralph, did Robinson take a timeout there?
And we're getting word that Herndon is taking a timeout now. Again, the score now with just 5:59 to go in the 1st half. Herndon 12, Robinson 7. And let's see what the Hornets decide to do at this point in the game.
Yeah, Gary, what do you think about going for 2 here?
I think it's too early to go for 2. I don't think it's necessary. I think, they've had some kicking problems, so maybe they want to do that.
Well, I see Brad Lowitz, number 20, on the sidelines. He is their kicker, so it looks like they are going to go for the 2-point conversion here.
Greg Robinson will be split wide right. Adu Jaffe is going to be the deep man, and the Hornets are going to go for 2 with no trickery. Chris Young looks things over. He's back to pass. No, he gives it to Adu Jaffe. No, he keeps it himself. Chris Young, a beautiful play. And he's just doing a great job of faking out not only myself, but also the Robinson Rams. They get 2 on the plate. pick up the missed extra point, and with 5 minutes and 59 seconds to go in this first half, the score, Herndon 14, Robinson 7. This is the most exciting game we've seen all year, Jamie.
Let me tell you what, Gary, Chris Young has done an excellent job tonight at quarterback. No doubt about it. He's faked everybody out here in this stadium. He had Mike Bowler, the defensive back, come up on him, and he went right over the top, dove in for the score.
Is that me, Jamie, or did he fake you out on that play-action fake that time as well?
I won't say, Gary.
So it was just me. Is that what you're
I'm
telling
not going
me?
to say. That's right. I have to, as our crack producer, Bill the Bulldog Linden, told us last week, you must support each other.
Well, apparently I was the only one in the stadium that missed that. He faked me out. In either case, the score again, Herndon 14, the Robinson Rams 7.
Right now we see Robinson with 2 turnovers, and I believe Herndon has yet to commit a turnover tonight. So they're +2, so that's a good sign for the Hornets.
Number 21, Aju Memble, is back deep to receive the punt. And I like Gene's pronunciation better of Agemble.
Well, we're going to use our own pronunciation of his name, Gary.
Number 20, Brad Lowett's back to kick off for the Hornets at his own 40-yard line. And a line driver goes right through 2 Robinson players. It's picked up on the play by number 35, Bowen. He's got some running room. Where Bowler picks up some good yardage on the play. Brings it out to about the 29-yard line. They'll mark that at the... We'll mark it at the 29-yard line. Be first down and 10 to go for the Rams.
I'll tell you one thing I'm seeing right now are the Robinson players have their heads down a little bit. They look a little dejected, and Herndon looks very fresh and very up right now.
This hands to the up-back, Schlemegel. Pickup of 1 on the game.
That time it looked like number 71, Nick Shinton, had the tackle. And the defensive line for the Hornets has played a very good ball game here tonight, Gary.
Yeah, they really have, Jamie. Again, Gamble, the deep man in the I formation. Schlemegel the up back. Split wide left for the Rams, number 8, Eric Hamilton.
Ooh.
And Messick keeps it himself, scrambles around, actually picks up almost the first down on the play.
Well, it looks like that time at 34, Dennis Washington had things contained, and Messick went over to his left and had a big gainer. A nice play that time by the quarterback for Robinson.
Bring up 3rd down and about half a yard. Less than that, about the length of the football for the Rams.
And that time, Alex Kuma, number 22, came up with the tackle all the way from his strong safety position on the opposite side of the
4
field.
minutes and 30 seconds to go in this half. Again, the score, Herndon 14, Robinson 7. First time we've seen the pro set for the Rams. And we've got a quarterback keeper. Messick appears to have the first down. The Hornets are signaling that it's their ball, and the referees are signaling that it's still the Rams' ball.
I think it's going to be the refs that win that battle, Gary.
We usually see that to be the case. Big game in the district. Annandale 21-0 over the Lake Braddock Criminals. Of course, that wouldn't matter when you see this game. Since it's taped, you already know the score. Messick keeps the ball up the middle. Picks up another first down for the Rams.
We do have a flag that's down, and I think that's going to be on Robinson. Let's see what the signal is, and it is. That's going to be holding against the Robinson Rams, so that'll bring the ball back. But you know, that time Messon did a good job. Jeremy Delk was the man who had to either go with the quarterback or the running back, and he went with the running back on the fake pitch from Messon, and Messon had gotten some yardage. But again, that's all for naught, as this penalty will bring the ball back.
That'll bring up first down and 20 yards to go for the Rams. The ball will be spotted at the 30-yard line, 32-yard line. split wide right for the Rams, number 89, Jonathan Doda. And the Rams elect to keep the ball on the ground. Gamble picks up about 5 yards on the play, bringing up second down and 15.
One thing I like that I'm seeing from the Herndon defense right now is that the first man may be missing a tackle, but they really are pursuing well to gang tackle on that second and third opportunity.
Number 89, Doda, split wide left. Number 8 for the Rams, Eric Hamilton, split wide. Nesson keeps the ball. Jeremy Delk is after him. And Jeremy Delk gets his third sack of the game. And I think they'll say that the ground caused the fumble.
That's right, Gary. Third sack of the game for Delk and almost his second fumble there that he would cause. But he is doing a great job. Very quick tonight is Jeremy Delk.
Jeremy Delk is as a defensive end. He's 6'1", 186 pounds, and he looks more like a safety to me.
Well, the other thing is, too, is he's playing both sides of the ball. He is playing tight end as well, and he was the one that caught the ball down onto the 2-yard line on that last touchdown drive. So he is playing a whale of a ball game this evening.
That'll bring up third down, and that's got to be about 25 yards to go for a first. I don't even want to try to add it up from this point.
Here he comes again.
Nesson goes to throw. He's got a man open deep. And the ball intended for number 89, Doda. That'll bring up fourth down and a long 25 to go with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this half. The score, Herndon 14, Robinson 7.
Let me tell you something. If Robinson does not pick up Jeremy Delk, it is going to be a long night for Mess at the quarterback. He has not been touched on the last 2 or 3 plays, and he is wreaking havoc right now in this ballgame.
It must be that he's allowed to just roam wherever he wants, because you would think that if he's in a set position, somebody would be there to pick him up, but he's really gone untouched most of the time. It's not like he's been beating somebody.
I'll tell you what, he's got 3 sacks. He's got a couple quick forced plays tonight, and he is really taking over this ballgame on the defensive side for the Hornets.
He's got 3 sacks and a forced fumble, which of course led to the last touchdown by the Hornets.
And a catch on offense, so he's really done a good job tonight. We have a timeout on the field. And this will put Herndon in a good field position to try to score here before the end of the half.
Yeah, Herndon will have one last opportunity to put some more points on the board, and if they put another touchdown on the board at the end of this half, this is not only going to demoralize this Robinson team, but they're going to dig themselves quite a hole.
Yeah, I agree. And the way this Herndon defense is playing right now, it could be a hole that's too deep to get out of. But still a lot of time in the ball game, and Herndon is really looking good here in this first half. Very unaccustomed for them. Again, they're very slow starters.
I don't know if our camera crew, our crack camera crew, can get a shot at about the Herndon 40-yard line on the Herndon sideline, but number 10 is on crutches, Megan Wu, one of the only 3 female football players in Fairfax County, and she is normally the kicker for the Hornets. She's a soccer player earlier in the year, and would she tear up a knee or something?
Yeah, she hurt her knee in August playing select soccer, and but Herndon's done a good job with Brad Lowitz, who's coming for them. So it's going to be fourth down time for Robinson to punt.
Adu Jaffe and Ahmad Spriggs back to receive the punt. And an extremely short kick on the play, and it'll go out of bounds. Oh, it got a really good bounce for the Rams. It doesn't go out of bounds until it's all the way at the 39. So Herndon with not as quite good a field position as they'd hoped, but still plenty of time to put some points on the board before the score's over. And there you see we get a shot of number 10, Megan Wu.
That's right, the ex-field goal kicker for the Hornets. That time was interesting when Adu Jaffe didn't field the ball. He ran over right to Coach Tommy Meyer and had a couple words with him. And Coach Meyer sent him out and said, hey, good job, let's get things rolling here on offense.
Let's see if they keep it conservative or if they try to put some points on the board. And they just give the ball straight up the middle. Number 34, Dennis Washington on the play. And you see a flag on the play, Jamie. What do you think this would be?
I'm going to go for a hold on Herndon. I'm going to go for a
Well, the referee's signaling a personal foul, but I thought up in the booth is telling us it's a personal foul. I thought I saw a hold called by the referees. And that is, in fact, a personal foul on the play by Herndon.
And Gary, that's why we're announcing, and Ralph Newell is the official here in the booth.
There's good reason for that.
This is one thing Coach Meyer did not want to see now this late in the first half. He'd like to get a score out of this Herndon offense. And they're going the wrong way.
And I think with this kind of a penalty and a long way to go for a first down, look for Tom Meyer to keep the ball on the ground. Just try to run the clock out.
I think you're absolutely right.
Otto Jaffe carries the ball on the play. Picks up about 3 yards. Bring up second down and, third down. And looks like about 15 yards to go on the play with 1:24 to go in this half.
Well, like you said, I think you're going to see Herndon just keep this ball on the ground. Third down, and it'll go inside a minute.
And Chris Young goes back to pass. Ball's caught on the play by number 7. He's at the 20. He's dragged down at the last minute at his own 8-yard line, and that was number 7, Craig Robinson. Big surprising play. Tommy Meyer deciding to go for the jugular on that play. With 55 seconds to go in the half, the band is already taking the field, and the Hornets are knocking on the door for another score.
I'll tell you what, a quick hit.
Timeout on the play, Herndon. I believe that's their last timeout. That is their last timeout.
You know what? That was a quick hit at that time to Craig Robinson. He went around Mike Bowler. Mike Bowler's had a tough second quarter. He went right around him and ran for a good 30 or 40 yards that time. So I think that was a great play, something that was not expected. We expected them just to run out the clock. But Tommy Myers surprised us, definitely.
Tommy Myers, we're going to have to ask you about that after game. Is this the new aggressive Tommy Myers? This is certainly not what we saw last year. I thought Tommy Myers was, in my mind, more of a conservative coach. This year seems to be opening things up a little bit more.
Well, that time too, Gary. Last year, they had a club that was sort of one-dimensional. They ran the ball very well. They were big on the line. This year, they have Chris Young, a strong-armed quarterback, and he's really doing a job for them this evening.
They've marked the ball just outside of the 10-yard line, but they do not have the yard markers up, so they're saying it is first down and goal to go at the 10. Chris Young back to pass, and he's sacked on the play for a loss of 4.
That time there was excellent coverage in the secondary with the linebackers and the defensive backs from Robinson, and there was really nowhere for Young to throw that ball, so he had to eat it that time. We'll bring up second down.
The clock's running with 36 seconds to go in this second half. Young brings his team to the line of scrimmage very quickly. Ahmad Spriggs split wide left, Russell Harris split wide right. And a bad exchange on the play between Dennis Washington and Chris Young.
That's one thing.
They've got to do something quickly. The clock is running with 16 seconds to go. Herndon has no timeout. Tommy is frantically signaling, throw the ball down on the ground. And a dangerous pass is almost intercepted, and that would have been an easy 6.
Let me tell you what, that was one heck of a dangerous play. Mike Bowler, whose name we've called several times, almost made a fantastic play. If he could have come up with that ball, he had 90 yards of nobody. Nobody could have gotten him.
I'm not sure if that's what Tommy wanted, Jamie. I think he wanted just them to kill the clock. Chris Young thought he had a man open.
That'll bring Brad Lowitz in for the field goal attempt.
This will be about a 15, 26, 27-yarder. The snap's good. The kick, the ball's down. It's blocked on the play. A break for the Rams. And that'll bring it into the first half, Jamie. The score, Herndon 14, the Robinson Rams 7. Let's give me your analysis of this first half. Obviously a big surprise.
I think it is a surprise. I don't know if it's a big surprise, but Herndon is really taking it to the Robinson Rams. Right now, Robinson, as you can see, the Herndon club running off the field. They're very up, and Robinson just sort of walking, their heads dejected, heads down, it's a little dejected. I think Herndon is really taking control of this ball game on the defensive line, especially Jeremy Delk with a good job, and Chris Young as quarterback has done an excellent job in engineering this Herndon offense.
Jamie, this Herndon team, I think, has got this Robinson team on the run. They've got them right where they want them. This Robinson team is considered one of the best teams in the entire area. They're probably the third best team in Virginia. Is this a surprise in your mind? You don't think so?
Well, I think that it is a surprise. I don't know if it's as major a surprise as people may think. Herndon is really coming along. They're starting to mesh, and let's find out what happens here in the second half. We have a whole half of football to go, so no telling what's going to happen here in the second half. But, again, like I've said a couple times, that Herndon is a slow-starting team. They had not scored any points in their first 3 games in the first half, and tonight they've got 14.
That bodes extremely well for this Herndon team.
Sure does.
Again, at halftime in downtown Herndon, Virginia, at the Hornets' Nest. The score, your Herndon Hornets 14, the Robinson Rams 7. I'm Gary Friedman.
Along with Jamie Whitlock.
And we will see you after this halftime show. Welcome back to the Hornets' Nest in beautiful downtown Herndon, Virginia. This is the score, 14, the Herndon Hornets 14, the Robinson Rams 7. I'm Gary Friedman. We've got sound, we've got cameras, and things are finally working here.
And I still think you have nachos in your mouth, Gary.
I do have nachos that I'm still eating. Jamie, tell us about this Herndon team. You saw them come out at halftime, and they were jumping up and down, they were yelling, they were screaming, they were pounding each other. Look at them over there. They look to be extremely fired up right now.
This team is fired up, Gary, and for good reason. They are up right now on the number 20 ranked Robinson Rams 14-7 as the second half is going to begin. Robinson came out, and if I know Coach Tommy Meyer, he is really going to have this team fired up, but not over-emotional. They're going to be fired up, but still with a goal in mind, and that is to win this ball game.
Well, absolutely, Jamie, and the Herndon Hornets are in the driver's seat right now. The biggest thing for them to do is try not to make any mistakes.
They need to maintain the momentum that they had as well going into halftime. They really had Big Mo on their side, scoring twice in the second quarter to take this lead.
Number 21, Agembo, back to receive for the Rams. And let's see if Brad Lowitz is going to be kicking off, and he will be.
Let's hope he can put one right down the middle of the field like he did last time. And you know, they had a good strategy last time. They kicked it low and right down the middle of the field, and Robinson had to play the ball at the 1 yard line. So let's see if they do the same thing here to open up the second half.
And that's exactly what they do. They kick it on the ground, and it's an up man. It looks like really a blocking kind of person for the Rams. And finally, the Hornets really in good field position. This crowd is as loud as I've ever heard it here at the Hornets' Nest, Jamie. They're really on fire tonight.
Well, something that we have to explain to the people out there too is that no one really expected a lot of things out of this Herndon club this year. They lost a lot of seniors last year, a lot of their talent left, and right now this club is meshing. They're doing a fine job as we've opened up the second half here at the Hornets' Nest.
And this is also about as crowded as it gets here. Messin barking out the signals. Looks like he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Schlemegan, the up back, takes the ball, fights his way forward for, looks like a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Should bring up second down and 5 to go.
And again, Gary, we saw somebody in the backfield, someone that the Robinson Rams don't want to see in their backfield, and that's Jeremy Delk. On the first play of the second half, he was in the Robinson Rams backfield. So let's see what Robinson decides to do to try to combat his activity on the defensive line.
Delk's been in the backfield the entire game. He's been there as much as the running backs have. Messin fakes to the first man, hands it off to number 21 on the play, Agembo, and he's close to the first down.
That time it was a nice tackle by Alex Kuma, number 22. That time also, Herndon had 6 guys up on the defensive line. They had 1 linebacker stay back. They ran away from the linebacker to get that first down, and Kuma had to come up with a tackle.
And Agembo does pick up the first down. That'll bring up first down and 10 to go at the 42-yard line of the Rams. Messin gives it to Agembo off the right side, and he fights his way for about 8 yards. That'll bring up second down and 2 to go.
That time, number 83, David Dress for Robinson, had a good block on number 71, Nick Shinton, which really created the hole for a Gimbel to get in there and get good yardage. So Robinson right now, starting the second half, is keeping the ball on the ground and doing a good job of moving the ball. And I think what they're doing right now is going right up the middle. They're going to try to stay away from the outside, Jeremy Delk.
Ball spotted just at the 50-yard line. And Gimbel gets that's Sanders back in the game. And he picks up the first down. He picks up about 4 yards. Be another first down for the Rams.
And again, just like I said, they're either running up the middle or they're going to the left side away from Delk's side. Delk again was in the backfield, but by the time he gets back there, the running back has already crossed the line of scrimmage and has made some yardage. So looks like they're going to move the chains again, Gary. So Robinson's got their, third first down of this drive.
9 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the third quarter. Sanders fighting for some tough yardage. Picks up about 2 on the play. Bring up second down and 8 at the Herndon 45-yard line.
And that time, number 34, Dennis Washington, hit him first. Nick Shinton, number 71, hit him low. And number 22, Alex Kuma, has had a good ball game on defense so far tonight. Came up to finish him off. So little or no gain there for Robinson.
Rams electing to keep the ball on the ground. This time Schmegan gets the ball. He breaks away from one man. He's got some running room. He's all the way down to the Hornets' about the 23-yard line on the play. A big play for Schmegan, his biggest run of the game. That's about a 25-yard gain.
Yeah, at that time, Herndon just missing tackles at the line of scrimmage. 3 guys missed him, and he broke through for some big yardage, and Ahmad Spriggs, one of the defensive backs, had to make the play. You always do not want to see those defensive backs making the tackle, because that means they get through that line and pass the linebacker. So Robinson on the move here in the third quarter.
Messon barking signals out at the line. Looks like he's changing the play again. Schmegan keeps the ball. Picks up about 2 yards on the play, bringing up second down and 8. Jamie, what about the weather tonight?
Oh, the weather's perfect. We talked earlier that we thought that the field might get a little bit slick, but it doesn't look like that's the case so far. It's a beautiful, crisp, clear night out here in Herndon, and it's just a perfect night to play football.
Sanders started the game for the Rams. I don't know if he got hurt. He was out most of the second quarter, and then he's really been the workhorse for this, along with Schmegan, for the beginning of the third quarter. And Messon keeps the ball himself for no gain on the play. Maybe picks up a yard. That'll bring up third down and a long 6.
You know what's interesting that time is they tried to roll over to the right side off the right tackle, and Jeremy Delk was there to make the initial hit. You know, I know we're calling his name a lot, but he has been in on some big plays tonight, and now that creates a third down situation here for Robinson. If I were Robinson, I'd go back over to the left side or right up the middle. They've had a lot of success with that here in the third quarter.
Third down and 7. Messon fumbles the ball on the play. He's sacked for a loss on the play by number 1, B.J. Lanier. Big play for the Hornets that time. That'll bring up fourth down and about 15 yards to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, they had Lanier and number 14, Jeremy Delk, in there again. So, Gary, what do you do here? Fourth down. They're on the Herndon 29-yard line.
6 minutes and 57 seconds to go in the third quarter. The score, Herndon 14, the Rams 7.
Fourth down, they're ready to go.
Messon's goes back to pass, but it's a draw play to Sanders. He picks up, looks like he's almost got he may have enough for the first down on the play. Herndon fooled on that play, Jamie.
Yeah, they sure did, and what we've talked about so far in this third quarter is they're going over to the left side, past the left tackle, anything on the left side from the center on over, and they picked up a big first down that time. And let me tell you, number 24, Ray Sanders, really hit that hole quickly.
Ball spotted on the 14-yard line of the Hornets. That'll bring up first down and 10 to go. Robinson keeping this drive alive.
Craig Robinson's man-to-man with the wide receiver out here, Gary.
Schmegan takes the ball to his left, picks up about 2 yards on the play. There is a flag on the play.
I think we're looking at holding this time, Gary.
Yeah, that normally would be in the area of holding.
Let's see what the refs call.
And it will be holding against the Rams. That'll set them back 10 yards.
Well, I tell you what, I'd like to find out how many penalties that Robinson's had tonight, because they really have committed a lot of fouls. If we can talk with Ralph Newell, our official here in the box, he can let us know how many penalties that Robinson has committed tonight. They've got 6 with that penalty right there, so it's 6 penalties already for Robinson, and we're about halfway through the third quarter.
Number 34 for the Rams, split wide left, Platos, and number 8, split wide right, Eric Hamilton, split wide left. And Sanders takes the ball off left tackle. Picks up about 6 yards on the play. That'll bring up second down and 14.
Well, I am impressed on the difference that Coach Nick Hilgert has implemented with his offense. He knew that he shouldn't run over the right side. Has been running almost consistently to the left side here and has picked up some good yardage. Penalties have set him back. A fumble set him back. But his team is rolling on the left side of this offensive line.
Ball's at the Herndon 16-yard line. He's second down and a short 14. Messing back to pass. The whole Herndon defense has got almost intercepted on the play. Well, number 88 Ahmad Spriggs acting like a receiver that he is on offense.
That time, Messon had what he wanted. He picked up the blitz just nicely, just couldn't get the ball out there. Herndon sent 3 guys coming in that time on the blitz, and they were not picked up. Messon had enough time to get the ball off, but again, almost threw the interception. So good defense by Herndon. Big third down coming up again for Robinson.
Messing the pitch to Sanders off the right side. Good tackle on the play by number 58 for the Hornets. Number 58, Justin Kelly.
Boy, Gary, and that time they sent number 80, Kyle Wohlrob, the tight end for Robinson, over, and he blocked Jeremy Delk to try to hit the corner for the running back. But it was a fine play by number 58, Justin Kelly, like you said, and that'll hold it now for Robinson, 4th down. And they picked it up this last time when they had 4th down. Let's see what they do again here. And remember, last time they ran over the left side. So let's see if they do that same thing with Ray Sanders.
Robinson attempts to keep this drive alive. Kyle Waldrop in the slot, split wide left. That should be illegal procedure against the Rams.
Looks like it's going to be delay, which they didn't get the play off in time. And it was a good thing for Herndon because they had their defense stacked on the left side, and it looks like the play was going to go to the left side of the offense, which would have been the weak side of the Herndon defense. So, and we saw a lot of the Herndon coaches yelling for them to shift, and they just didn't get over there in time.
Ball spotted at the 22-yard line of Herndon. Plato's in the slot. The pitch to Sanders, it's an option. He throws it. Oh, he had a man. Number 34, Plato's open, just overthrew him. Herndon takes over on downs with 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the third quarter, Jamie.
Well, it's a good play. Ray Sanders did have somebody open, but he had pressure from B.J. Lanier and Alex Kuma that time, and they could have forced him to throw the pass a little bit quicker than he wanted to. So it's going to be 1st down for Herndon, Gary, and they've held here a good drive by Robinson.
I don't recall. This is the first time Herndon's had the ball in the second half?
Yes, it is.
That's almost an 8-minute drive by the Rams, which is great, but to come up with nothing after an 8-minute drive has got to be demoralizing. Oh, Otto Jaffe almost breaks a tackle, but nevertheless picks up 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up second down and 8 at the Herndon 25-yard line.
That time, Greg Robinson, number 74, who's been fairly quiet tonight for Robinson, came up with a shoestring tackle. And if Adu Jaffe could have gotten out there, he would have definitely picked up the 1st down plus yardage after that. So good play by Robinson.
Ball spotted on the 24-yard line. The score, Herndon 14, the Rams 7 with 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the third quarter. The clock is running. And the handoff to Otto Jaffe. He's got one man to beat. He could go all the way. He's at the 50. He's at the 40, and he's hit out of bounds at his 38-yard line by number 35 of the Rams, Mike Bowler, the last man that could get him.
I tell you what, Bowler did have the tangent on it, but Adu Jomfi almost broke it the play before going around left tackle. This time he did. A big gainer, and again, Herndon is making the big plays in this ball game, and Robinson just plainly is not.
Adu Jomfi taken out, getting a little rest. Tommy Myers coming over, patting him on the head, telling him you're doing a great job, and he's been the workhorse for this team. And it looks like we have Joe... and we've got some kind of penalty on the
Looks like Herndon moved early that time. Looks like the left tackle.
And it's illegal procedure called against the Hornets.
Well, like I was talking about earlier, Herndon has been the one that's been making the big plays tonight. They've recovered 2 fumbles. They've caused another fumble in which Robinson recovered, and have made some big running and passing plays.
Ahmad Spriggs split wide left. Craig Robinson split wide right. Young back to pass. And he overthrows Ahmad Spriggs on the play.
Hey, Gary, let me tell you something. Chris Young had all day to throw that time. He had excellent protection by that offensive line. And right now, both the offensive and defensive line of Herndon are doing the job.
And after that last big run by Adu Jomfi, we saw Joe Taylor come in for the first time in the game, number 33, in the I-back formation.
And he's more of a quick scat back kind of a runner as well. He's not the power runner that Adu Jomfi is.
And Dennis Washington gets the ball straight up the middle, breaks 1 tackle, keeps his feet grinding and moving. When he gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, it'll bring up 3rd down and 10 yards to go. And the ball will be spotted at the Robinson 34-yard line.
3rd and 9, Gary. You think they're going to run the option play? I mean, the play action here?
Play action would be a good call. I don't know if they'll fool anybody on 3rd down and 9, though. I wouldn't think they'd bite for the run. Let's see if Tom Myers elects to pass the ball or keep it on the ground. Chris Young back to pass. He's got a man open. Oh! And I feel for Chris Young today. Craig Robinson, the ball was a little short, but it still hit him in the hands, and he's had 3 or 4 passes dropped. It's going to make his stats look a lot worse than they were. I think Chris Young's played an excellent game.
He has played an excellent game, though. That time the ball was thrown a little bit behind Robinson, but he did have enough time to react and come back to the ball. Still got his hands on it and dropped the ball, but it was... Chris Young is playing a whale of a ball game this evening. And at 4th down and 9, they're going to go for it.
Well, the ball's on the 34. There's no point of punting, and that's just too long a field goal for the kicker to make. Robinson split wide right. Ahmad Spriggs split wide left. And another penalty on the play. Looks like it'll be illegal motion against the Hornets.
Yeah, again, it looks like both the guards left at the same time, so that'll drop them back 5. Coach Tommy Myers really talking to Chris Young, and maybe about a snap cadence or what, I'm not sure, but he is really giving a little lecture there. And they're going to go ahead and send the punting unit in, looks like, Gary.
Yeah, at this point in the game, I think that makes a lot of sense. They're up 14-7. They really haven't had a lot of action going on in the second half. They're going to go ahead and punt it and put Robinson deep into their own territory.
And Gary, is this the first punt that Herndon's had tonight?
I think it is Herndon's first. No. Oops.
No.
No, it's not, because obviously the ball is blocked on the play. Robinson recovers the ball at the Herndon 45-yard line. And if you remember earlier, I think they've had 2 punts. One was almost blocked, and the other one was a roughing the kicker.
Exactly right. Number 43 for Robinson comes up for the ball. We don't have him in here listed, but it looks like Mike Bowler was the one that blocked it. And, you know, now, when I said that, I realized that it wasn't their first punt because Robinson had gotten good pressure on both of the other punts that time.
They've had good pressure all day, really.
Exactly.
And a big break for the Rams and an opportunity for them to try to turn this into some points. Messon hands off the right side of Sanders. He's got one man he breaks a tackle, and he's brought down on the play. He runs it all the way down to his own 25-yard line, brought down by Barry Kaiser. And that's a 20-yard gain on the play.
You know, something I'm a little concerned with right now, Gary, is that Herndon has had several opportunities to score and been a little bit deeper in Robinson territory and has not converted. They're only up by 7 here.
You know, that's about a 50 or 60-yard turnover there because they could have pinned the Rams back deep in their own territory. Instead, the Rams get good field position.
And the Herndon defense is going to have to come up big here again.
Look for Sanders to get the ball again. And he keeps the ball. This time he's met again by Kaiser at his really drop for a loss on the play of 3.
Good time that time good play that time by Barry Kaiser. And just when I'd said the Herndon defense has got to come up big, Kaiser makes a big play and drops him for the 3-yard loss. You know, I felt like the first half drug on a little bit. It sort of was a little slow, a lot of penalties, but this third quarter, especially with that 8-minute drive, that Robinson came up with nothing to show for it. But this quarter's gone by rather quickly.
Yeah, there's only 1:13 to go in the third quarter. The score, Herndon 14, the Robinson Rams 7. And the quarterback options to Sanders. He turns it around left. It looks like he's out of bounds to me.
That's going to be a touchdown.
It looks like a
Robinson.
touchdown, but I haven't seen any of the referees signal a touchdown. I guess it's just assumed that it's a touchdown. It looked to me like he was out of bounds, but he apparently he broke one tackle, stayed wide left, and all of a sudden what looked to be a Herndon, a real big Herndon momentum is now turned around, and this Rams team is suddenly taking control.
Well, we just talked about it a couple plays ago that I was concerned that Herndon was only up by 7. They had squandered some opportunity, and that Robinson really had a chance to come back and tie this ball game. And let's see if they do it here with this kick. And then I've got something to talk about that play we just saw.
An important extra point here late in the third quarter. The kick's up, the snap's down, and the referees don't signal whether or not it's good or bad, and I guess that's because there's flags down on the play. That's going to be an illegal procedure against the Rams.
We're seeing a lot of that tonight. That's got to be, what, the 5th or 6th one we've seen so far tonight, and at least the 4th one of this half.
Well, they're saying if it's missed, they want to decline it, but the play was stopped. I don't think there is a play, so they have to take the penalty.
Exactly right. The head referee looked a little bit quizzical when number 41, Barry Kaiser, was saying, we want to decline it. He was like, well, you really can't decline this. So they move it back 5 yards, and Robinson will try to kick again.
And this extra point now becomes a 25-yard field goal, really, which is not a give-me at the high school level. The ball's down, the kick's up. It's enough distance, and it's good. With 58 seconds to go in the third quarter, Jamie, we have ourselves a football game. The score, Herndon Hornets 14, the Robinson Rams 14. It's anybody's ball game.
Let me tell you, on that touchdown run, I like 2 things. One was the way the quarterback Mason for Robinson pitched that ball out quickly to Ray Sanders, and the speed in which Ray Sanders showed in getting around the corner and just tight-roping the ball in. An excellent job that time by Robinson, and they are back in this ball game, 14-all.
You know, maybe it was just my angle that I had up here, but and also a vision of the way the Hornets were going after him. It didn't really seem like they were hustling some of the guys on this end that had a chance to maybe make a play and cut the angle off. It looked like they were kind of running over there slow as if they thought he was out of bounds, and that made me think he was out of bounds, and it looked like he was, but apparently he was dancing along the sideline.
Well, I think the one guy that really had a chance initially was Joe Spence, number 98, but he ran just a little bit too far upfield. By the time Sanders got the ball, he was past him, and it was a horse race after that.
Otto Jaffe, the workhorse of this Herndon team, deep to receive. And I don't know if that was a purpose. That was obviously an onside kick, and it looked like the Rams purposely did it. And the referees are signaling that the Rams have gotten the ball. Suddenly the momentum has changed, and now the Robinson Rams on the move, attempting to score again. Jamie, what do you make of this?
I think that was a planned play. The kicker sees that all the big blocking men are up on the front line. Sean Regan, the guy that the ball knocked into, 190 pounds, 6 foot tall. He's an offensive and defensive lineman, and he kicked it right into his legs. A great play by Robinson, and they're at midfield.
Herndon's got to make a defensive stand now.
And Gary, what's more important, like you alluded to, the momentum has really shifted now back into Robinson's favor.
And Messon just goes back there and starts yelling at us and slapping high fives on his running backs. Not Barry Sanders. If Barry Sanders is out there, we certainly would have a different ball game. But that will be number 24, Ray Sanders, for a gain of 6, bringing up 2nd down and 4.
And I'll tell you what, Gary, the way Ray Sanders is running the second half, I'm sure he could be Barry Sanders' brother, because he is doing everything right out there right now.
And now they give him 8 yards on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 8 to go with only 16 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We'll get off one more play before we start the 4th quarter. Messon changing the play at the line of scrimmage again. They give it straight up the middle to Schlegen. He easily has a 1st down. Picks up about 5 on the play. Bring up 1st down and 10 to go at the Hornets' 38-yard line as the end of the 3rd quarter comes to a close and the teams will switch sides. Jamie, obviously the momentum has shifted.
The 3rd quarter was owned by the Robinson Rams. They owned it on the field, they owned it on the clock, and they definitely owned it on the scoreboard. I think one difference you see this year with Herndon versus the team from last year, Coach Tommy Meyer could afford to take K2 and switch him to the other side of the defensive line. He's got Jeremy Delk, who's playing a great ball game on the left, but what happens is Robinson finds that out and they run away from him. Last year, he could have switched Colombo to that side, but this year he doesn't have the luxury to do that. So the guys on the right side of that Herndon defense are really going to have to step up here in this 4th quarter.
You had mentioned time of possession earlier. In the time of possession, the Hornets had the ball for only 2 minutes on offense. The Robinson Rams had the ball for over 10 minutes. Believe it or not, they had an 8-minute drive, didn't get anything out of it. Really, what got them the points was what wins and loses ball games, and that's a turnover.
That's exactly right. That's something that really had bitten the Hornets here in the first 3 games. Again, we talked about 9 turnovers in the first 3 games, and that first turnover of tonight's ball game, it was a costly one.
Coming into the game, the Robinson Rams had 1 turnover in their previous 3 games, and that's a big reason why they're 3-0.
But they have turned the ball over twice tonight, and they recovered one of their own fumbles. So they are not playing a flawless game by any means.
Ray Sanders still in the game. And Schlegen gets it up the middle. He breaks 1 tackle, bowls over a couple more Herndon Hornets, and he picks up another 1st down as this Rams team is on the move.
And I don't know what it seems like to you and those watching at home right now, but it looks like the defensive line of Herndon is getting worn down a little bit. They are not making the tackles when they need to at the line of scrimmage. If they make that tackle, it's a play that goes for no gain. Yet he gets about 10 yards, and I think they might measure it for a 1st down here.
It's close to a 1st down. Ball spotted at about the 36, maybe 37-yard line. They'll bring the chains in, and it looks like he'll have the 1st down. No? The referee signals he's just inches short. So it'll be 2nd down and inches to go. Be interesting to see what the Rams do on this play. Good opportunity to go for a touchdown, don't you think?
I think so, but I'll tell you what, they have thrown the ball, I think, twice this whole half, and there's no reason to throw the ball. They're running the ball so effectively up the middle and to the left side of the line. They should just keep with that until Herndon proves that they can stop those plays.
Look for a quarterback sneak or a long pass. Or Schlegen straight up the middle. He picks up about 2 yards on the play, and that will bring up a 1st down. Ball spotted at approximately the 25-yard line. Make that the 26.
Coach Meyer and his defensive crew is going to have to come up with some way of stopping the run.
This is an important series for the Hornets. With only 11 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game, we have a 14-14 tie. They keep the ball on the ground. Number 21 on the play, Agemble, carries for about 5 yards.
I'll tell you that time, number 32, Pat Slim Jim for the Robinson Rams had a great block, but a flag, like you said, Gary, was thrown, and I would think that's going to be on Robinson. And it is.
That's a clip on Robinson. That'll be a 15-yard penalty, a big break for the Hornets.
How many penalties does Robinson have right now? Because they're really shooting themselves in the foot with their penalties right now. They've got 9 penalties so far in the game, thanks to Ralph Newell, our cracked official in the booth tonight.
Former star football player at William & Mary, we might point out. And after this play, maybe we can talk about, and maybe it's a little premature with 11 minutes to go, but maybe we can talk about what happens at the end of the game if it is tied in high school football. Amego carries on the play.
Nice play by Kaiser that time.
Brought
Gary.
down probably a loss of 1 yard on the play.
Yeah, Barry Kaiser shot through with a good play that time. Now, Gary, you were talking with Ralph, and you want to let us know what happens in case of an overtime here in high school. And I was talking with somebody who was doing stats, and they said that there was 9 penalties for 85 yards for Robinson so far.
And Ralph just told us that what they do is each team gets the ball at the 10-yard line. They get 4 chances to score, and the team that scores or scores the most, I guess, from there will win the game. If neither team scores, it ends in a tie.
Wow.
And drop for a loss on the play, big number 71, Nick Shinton.
And I'll tell you what, Gary, this Herndon defense is again stepping up. They seem like they were back on the ropes for a while. Robinson commits the penalty, a big penalty, drives them back, and the defense has made 2 good plays in a row.
And we've just been corrected. Actually, they each get 4 shots from the 10-yard line, and they just continue to do that until one team scores. So there will be a winner in this game. There will not end in a tie.
And I'll tell you what, this is an exciting game. This is the kind of game that coaches like to see what their team's made of.
Big play here. 3rd down and I'd say approximately forever. Messing back to pass. He's got a man open over the middle. Oh! And number 32 on the play for the Hornets, Abraham Denton was going for the hit and the breakup, but if he would have kept his eyes open, he might have had a chance to intercept that ball.
Well, he could have, but most football players want to take the hit and punish the offensive receiver, and that's what he was looking for. And he did the right thing. You know, he really didn't know if that guy was going to come down with the ball or not. And in any event, Robinson's going to have to step back and punt this ball. And Herndon will get the ball with about 9:20 to go here in the game.
Spriggs and Otto Jaffe back to receive the punt. .47 Nathan Campbell will kick. He gets a pretty good punt off this time. And the Hornets will let it bounce, and it's going to be... Oh, and a good break for the Hornets. It went into the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and they get it at their own 20-yard line.
Well, I tell you what, that ball looked like it was going to die right on the goal line, and it picked up some speed the very first bounce, but it looked like it was going to die. But fortunately for Herndon, it is a touchback, and they'll start their own 20. Let's see what Chris Young can do now to try to engineer a long drive and try to put this game away for Herndon.
Ahmad Spriggs comes over to the sideline. He is their primary receiver. Russell Harris split out left, Robinson to the right. Otto Jaffe, the workhorse, the deep man in the backfield, and it goes to the up back, Dennis Washington, for no gain on the play.
And Gary, with the exception of the first game at Annandale, Herndon has had 3 games that have been very, very tight. We saw him come back against TC. They barely held on to win against Marshall last week, and now they are deadlocked with Robinson about halfway through this 4th quarter.
2nd down and 9 to go, almost 10. Ahmad Spriggs back in the game. He's split wide left. Russell Harris split wide right. Young hands off to number 43. It's Foreman on the play. Oh, no. Oh, no. Unbelievable. A terrible break for the Hornets. Recovered by Robinson. Number 43 on the play. Number 44, Hastings, picks the ball up. He takes it in for a touchdown. A horrible break for the Hornets late in the 4th quarter.
I'll tell you what, Gary, it's another turnover that Herndon did not need, and it is a big, big play for Robinson. That puts them up now, and Herndon's going to have to make this drive not to win the game, but to try and tie the ball game. Well, let me tell you, it looked like that play was sort of busted at the very beginning.
It almost looked like it was supposed to be an end around or a reverse.
It was some sort of misdirection, and he sort of went the wrong way, and the handoff didn't look crisp and clear, but let's see what happens with Robinson here trying to do the extra point.
Kick is down, the ball's down, the kick's up, and it is good. With 8 minutes and 27 seconds to go in the ball game, for the first time, the Robinson Rams have taken the lead. They've got 21, the Hornets 14.
Well, 8:27 to go, and Herndon is now going to have to sustain a drive to try to come back and tie this ball game.
Well, there's plenty of time to go in the game. There's no need to panic. There's no need to rush. They can try to mix it up with some passes and some runs. They don't need to start running, getting panicky yet late this late in the game. There's plenty of time.
And I don't think they need to do the end arounds and the fancier trick types of runs. I think they stick with what got him here, and that was the misdirection. They've got some play action and some quick hitters across the middle.
You were talking to Coach Meyer early in the game, and he had given some hints about turnovers and putting the ball on the ground against a team like this.
Well, he thought the team that committed the most turnovers tonight was going to lose the ball game. And right now it's basically 2-2. It's even up. And they're just going to go toe-to-toe here for the last 8.5 minutes of the game.
The ball comes to Russell Harris. He fumbles it. Otto Jaffe picks it up. He breaks to his left. Oh, my God, he's got some running room. He could go all the way. He's got one man to beat. Holy cow, what a break for the Hornets, and this is a big turnaround as the crowd goes berserk.
Let me tell you, not as the crowd going berserk, but we're going berserk up here in the booth. This game is going back and forth, seesaw action. I can't get over this game tonight. An exciting ball game here at the Hornets' Nest.
And actually, he ran out all the way down to the 20-yard line, but it looks like he stepped out way, way back. They're bringing the ball back all the way to the Hornets' 48-yard line, where he must have stepped out. So a good pickup and good field position, but not quite as good as they had hoped.
Still a very exciting run back by Otto Jaffe off of the fumble by Spriggs. And now at midfield, let's see what Chris Young can do with this Hornet offense.
Ahmad Spriggs split wide right. Try saying that 3 times fast. Young hands off. No, he play action fake, and he's sacked on the play. Big number 45 comes into the middle. Perry Melvin. A sack for a 7-yard loss.
Yeah, that time, Gary, the play just did not develop. It was too slow in developing, and Robinson is too quick to get in there. For those kind of plays, you're going to have to do it bang, bang. You got to do it quickly, or else you're going to find out what happens, a 7-yard loss on the sack.
Hornets going in the wrong direction with 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the ball game.
I still think Chris Young can bring this out with some quick hitters across the middle. It's worked before.
Chris Young back to pass. He's got time. He's chased out of the pocket. He scrambles right. He's going to keep the ball himself. He picks up about 3 yards on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 15 to go. Chris Young yelling at Tom Meyer, what's the play? What do you want me to do?
And now Herndon's going to have to show some composure here at 3rd and 15.
And I don't have the play clock going, but I know they took a long time getting the play in, and it'd be a concern to see if there's a delay of game on this as they take a long time in the huddle, and Chris Young bringing the team out slowly. 3rd down and 15 to go. Say 14, a big play for the Hornets. The pitch to Otto Jaffe. It's a reverse to Russell Harris. He doesn't fool anyone. Big number 73 on the play. We don't have him in our program. He drops Russell Harris for about an 8-yard loss. That's going to bring up 4th down and call it 20 yards to go.
And more importantly for Robinson, Gary, the clock is still running. So it was a great play by number 73. Wish we had his name, but he made a great play. No one fooled him. And least of all, Russell Harris.
Officials timeout on the field with the 6 minutes and 21 seconds to go in the ball game. Again, the score, Robinson 21, Herndon 14.
Well, I tell you, Herndon could sure use a turnover here on this punt. Maybe a fumble or something would really help out the Hornets'
right
cause.
Now, Jamie?
I don't think so. I don't think that at this point in the ball game.
Certainly would catch him off guard, though. Now,
Yeah,
I guess
think you're right.
they got 20 yards to go for a 1st down, so that really doesn't make a lot of sense. Pretty good kick on the play. Herndon does a great job of covering the punt. Ball's returned only about 3 yards to the 40-yard line. That'll give the Robinson Rams a 1st down and 10 to go at their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, one thing you like to see out of your special teams players is aggressiveness, basically no regard for their own personal safety. And that time, James Darn, number 9, went down and just stuck his helmet in the chest of the Robinson Ram and really dropped him for no gain on the return.
Nesson brings his team to the line of scrimmage. That was an unusual looking play. Number 24, Sanders, carries the ball, picks up about 6, maybe 7 yards. Make it 2nd down and 4 to go.
I'll tell you what, this Sanders just ran right behind his offensive line and just didn't stop till he was tackled. A great play by Sanders.
Look for the Rams to try to run the clock out. Herndon needs to try to get a 1-2-3 and out. Keep the ball on the ground. Sanders fighting forward. He gets another first down, and the clock continues to run. We have a timeout on the field. Herndon takes a timeout.
And I think the key here for Herndon is they're going to have to stop Ray Sanders. He has been the workhorse here in the second half for Robinson. And if they want to stop this Robinson club, they're going to have to stop Sanders on the ground.
Well, Jamie, we've got 5 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the ball game. Herndon needs a big defensive stand right now. Jamie, you see the Robinson Rams huddling on the sideline right now, talking to their coach. You see the Herndon defensive coach out on the field. If you were the Rams, what would you do right now?
If I was Robinson, I'd do the same thing I've done all second half, and that is give it to number 24, Ray Sanders. We just heard from some people up here in the booth that he has 62 yards, and those have all been in the second half.
Let me ask you this, excuse me to interrupt you, but he started the game, played 1 or 2 series, and then went out. Do we have any word as to whether he got hurt or not?
It sounds like he took a big hit and was a little bit wobbly and was sat out the second quarter, and for Herndon, that's a good thing because he's really come out here in a quarter and a half and has gotten 62 yards.
He's ignited this Robinson team.
He really has.
First down and 10 to go at the 46-yard line. Again, they give to Sanders again. He goes straight up the middle, and he picks up another 5 yards on the play.
And the blocking that he's getting right now has been immaculate by Robinson. So if he can just stand up behind those offensive linemen and keep getting 5-6 yards a crack, it's going to be the ball game.
It looks like they may be wearing this Herndon defense down.
Yeah, it could be.
The defense has been on the field almost the entire second half for the Hornets.
And that does take its toll, especially late in this ball game. I'd be surprised if you see Robinson throw, Gary. They want the clock to run.
Robinson in a wishbone formation. They give it again to Sanders. Just over the 40-yard line. The ball will be spotted at the 39. That'll bring up third down and about 3 to go.
And as you see there on your stands at home, about 4 minutes left to go here in the ball game, and you see the clock is running, and that's exactly what Robinson wants to do. Keep this clock moving.
Again, you see Robinson in the wishbone formation. This time they give it to the up-back Schlemegel, and he'll be close to another first down.
And I'll tell you what, that was a play that Herndon would have had to have stopped him on. It was 3rd and 2 here late in the fourth quarter, and they would have had to stop him there to get a chance to keep this ball game well in hand. But as it is now, the clock continues to run now. Actually, the officials have stopped it to move the chains, but just under 4 minutes to go.
And they stopped it to move the chains because Robinson did, in fact, pick up a first down on the play. And this is kind of a do-or-die situation right now for the Hornets. They have got to stop them. This is going to be their last chance as time continues to run off the clock.
You know, and the other thing is, too, Robinson's going to take 4 downs here, Gary. There's no reason for them to punt or, really, if they can't get any yardage, they're not going to be able to kick a field goal from this point either.
Again, Sanders gets the ball straight up the middle. He's thrown down hard on the play by 3 or 4 different men, but he still manages to pick up about 5 yards on the play. Now they'll mark it just outside of the 20-yard line.
And Gary, at this point in the ball game, with the clock running and Sanders running the ball so effectively, if you're the Herndon Hornets, do you go for the strip? Do you try to strip the ball and knock the ball out of his hands just on the chance that they can start the turnover?
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem with that is they're having a hard time just tackling, so they've got to tackle him first and then worry about stripping the ball second. Sanders gets the ball again. This time the Hornets do a good job of keeping him from getting too many yards. He may pick up 1 or maybe none on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down, and let's make it 4.
You know, at that time, too, I think Ray Sanders was on the same vein as we were up here in the booth because he had both hands on that football once he got the ball. So I'm sure that the coach Hilgert has told him to keep both hands on that football.
2 minutes and 29 seconds to go in the ball game. 3rd down and 3. The Hornets must hold here.
Guys, talk about the next ball game.
The pitch again to Sanders, and he's got another 1st down. He's got some running room. He's pushed out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Let's make that the... Yeah, right outside of the 15-yard line. Looks like they'll mark the ball about the 16. That'll be another 1st down for the Robinson Rams.
And one thing we have to talk about here, things do not get any easier for the Herndon Hornets next week. They go to Chantilly and play the 13th ranked Chantilly Chargers. And it's going to be a tough ball game. This was a good tune-up. It's been a heartbreaker for the Hornets right now.
Well, Jamie, regardless of what happened, this team has played an extremely good game. They've stuck it out with a 20th ranked team. They've really gone nose to nose, and they're not out of the ball game yet. Sanders again getting a carry. Picks up maybe probably barely gets back to the line of scrimmage on the play.
You know, I
2nd down and 10.
I agree with you, Gary. Herndon has played a good ball game. They've really played a good first half. And something that Tommy Meyer was, I think, has been a little apprehensive about is that Herndon has not put a solid 2 halves together in one ball game this year. And we see it tonight that they had a great first half. They had the momentum on their side going into the locker room, but the second half has been all Robinson. They've controlled the clock and the ball, and Herndon has yet to stop them here in the half.
And with Robinson controlling the ball in an extremely quick second half as opposed to the first half.
I agree. This game is not over by any stretch of the imagination, but I guess my point being that Chantilly is going to pose, you know, a big challenge for him next Friday night.
Coach Tom Meyer, you get a view of him out there talking to his troops, trying to get them worked up, keeping their minds in the game, realizing it's not over until the final tick of the clock. The minute 57 to go in the game. Herndon's got to make some kind of a big play here. I think they probably need a turnover, and there you see Tom Meyer jogging off.
And let me tell you, he is a fierce competitor. Tommy Meyer is one heck of a ball coach. And he said he's done more coaching this year than probably the last few years with his team.
And we talk a little bit more about that after this play. 2nd and 10. Sanders gets the ball again, and you can see Delk going for the strip on the play even more so than the tackle. And there is a fumble on the play, but I think he was probably ruled down. Pick up about 5 on the play. Let's make it 4. Bring up 3rd down and 6 to go.
And one thing I see right now, Gary, is Ray Sanders limping off the ball field. So it looks like he might be out for the rest of the ball game. It looks like he turned an ankle or something, and he's limping back over to the trainers on the Robinson side.
Herndon calls another timeout, stopping the clock with 1:36 to go in the game. The score, Robinson 21, Herndon 14. And you see the scoreboard indicating 2nd down and 6 to go. And I've got it as 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, those on the field have a 3rd down, so we'll go by their markers. They are the official indicators on the field.
Robinson coming to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 6.
And again, you got to think this is 2-down territory here, Gary.
They're getting awfully close to field goal area, actually.
You know, I guess it would depend on what they pick up on this 3rd down play. If you don't pick up much, I think you try to go for it again. You're going to pin Herndon deep in their own territory if you don't pick it up, and you let your defense try to win the ball game for you.
Pitches to Sanders, Agumbo, and he's close to another 1st down.
I think he might have picked it up. Yeah,
he'll be about a yard short. That'll bring up 4th down and 1, and an interesting decision for the Rams.
Well, I think you go right ahead. I think you know the runs worked for you all night. You know, especially in the second half. You might as well go ahead and do it here. If you can't get 1 yard, you've pinned Herndon deep in their own territory.
1:04 to go in the ball game, and really Herndon's last chance to do something. They've got to stop the Rams here. And Aga Gamble does not only picks up the first down, but he picks up the touchdown with just under a minute to go in the game, 49 seconds. The score now, Robinson 27, Herndon 14, and this game appears to be pretty much wrapped up.
Well, Gary, it was a nice run. He had a big block up there on the front of the offensive line. He just followed his blockers right in again. It was untouched. And I think you're right. At this point in the game, you could probably say that the ball game is about over. Robinson will be up. So they're up 13 now. And I'm not sure who they play next week, but we are aware of Herndon's challenge next week against Chantilly.
Well, Jamie, this Herndon team has nothing to be ashamed of. They played an excellent game, as you see the kick going through the uprights, and that will bring the score to 28-14. Again, the Herndon team played a great ball game. The second half, I think the defense was simply worn down. They were on the field. They've been on the field almost the entire time.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gary, even they were in this ball game 14 apiece in the fourth quarter. And that fumble recovery for a touchdown by the Rams, I think, just deflated this Herndon club. At that point, they were down by 7 with about 8:15 to go, I believe it was. And that really could have been the last nail in the coffin for the Hornets. So Robinson will come out and get ready to kick this ball off here with about 49 seconds to go in this ball game. Gary, if you're Coach Tommy Meyer, what do you do to regroup these Hornets for next week's contest?
Well, it's a young team, and you just tell them you got to stress the good. You got to look at the bad and tell them how they've got to correct it. They've got to keep their chins up, and they've got to be positive. They don't have anything to be ashamed of. This is a good football team. They just need to try to get some cohesion.
And you know, one thing I think is that they are not far off from getting that cohesion.
No, and they're playing an extremely good football team here tonight. And number 32 for the Hornets picks the ball up. He goes off left tackle. He's got a little bit of running room. He brings the ball all the way out to the, looks like he brings it across the 50-yard line down to the 42-yard line of the Rams. Unfortunately, the Hornets are down by 2 touchdowns, so they'd have to get a touchdown really quick and then an onside kick, which is probably highly unlikely with 36 seconds to go in the game.
One thing that I have been impressed with all night long, though, is Robinson's team speed. We've seen several times when Herndon seems to have, an open field and they get run down from behind. This Robinson team is extremely fast and extremely quick.
Well, the Robinson coach is a believer in speed as opposed to bulk. Young goes back to pass, and there we go. First time in the game we see somebody slipping on the turf, and I think what happens is it gets later in the night. I think some dew starts to accumulate on the field, making it a little bit slippery. There's 25 seconds to go in the game. The clock is stopped. Herndon timeout. Again, getting a lot of help from our referee up in the booth, our official Ralph Newell.
Thanks, Ralph. Good luck to you, big guy.
And Ralph getting more plugs tonight than I think all of our referees combined in the last year and a half.
Well, I'll tell you what, Happy Johnson did not do the officiating profession much good the last couple of weeks, but Ralph has done a great job for us up here tonight. We'd like to thank all those that have helped us on the technical crew this evening, as well at HCTV.
And we're going to start out with executive producer and full-time sports producer now for HCTV. We like to call him the Bulldog. Our pal and yours, Bill Linden.
That's right. Thank you, big fella. We've got Bob Mayer in the truck directing. Dave Special K. Kokendorfer is our engineer. We've got, who do we have on camera tonight?
Well, maybe the camera guys change, it seems like, every week, so maybe we can get some direction from Bob in the truck as to who's on camera.
I think we have Bill Steeper and Bill Weinrecht on camera tonight.
That is correct.
And we are getting word from the truck that is correct.
We're getting truck verification on that.
Got to make sure we give our technical guys the plugs, or else our mics don't seem to work. Oh, a vicious hit on the play by number 51. I'm not even going to try to attempt his name. It's Jamie, would you like a shot at that one?
Marco Giannakis.
That sounds like it's pretty close, and I don't think his parents can be upset if we can't get that name right. With 7 seconds to go, the clock ticking. Chris Young throws one last pass. Well, maybe there'll be one more, as it's incomplete with 2 seconds to go in the game.
Well, I think what we'd like to do, too, is invite all the Hornet football fans out to Chantilly High School next Friday night. They're going to need all your support out there as they face a tough Chantilly Charger squad. I think that that they need your support. You guys have supported them here at home, and please support them away as they travel to Chantilly.
And Jamie, this would be a good opportunity to thank our guest statistician for the night.
which is who, Gary?
Well, if you don't come up with her name very quickly, I'm going to have to embarrass you here on the air.
Alyssa Hatch, thank you.
I had a feeling that would come very quickly. The last play of the game, Chris Young is trying to avoid a sack. 2 or 3 of the Robinson Rams sack him. Actually, number 73 gets his 3rd sack of the night. And the final score here at the Hornets' Nest is the Robinson Rams 28, the Herndon Hornets 14. Jamie, what's your analysis of tonight's game?
Well, Gary, again, I think it's the case of Herndon having one half of excellent football and one half of subpar football. Robinson came in. They were beaten physically in the first half. They were dejected going into the locker room, but they came out in the second half and took this ball club apart. They kept the Herndon defense on the field for 10 minutes in that third quarter, and I think that was really the turning point of this ball game.
You're exactly right, Jamie. And again, the final score is the Herndon Hornets 14. They come out on the losing side of a 28-14 loss. Robinson 28, Herndon 14. Next week's game will be at Chantilly. I'm Gary Friedman.
And I'm Jamie Whitlock.
Thank you for watching tonight, and actually tomorrow afternoon. And we'll see you next time on HCTV. Bye now!